Hello everyone, we are AGT Vice Talk, a group that mainly focusing on playing and researching our beloved game, Weiss Schwarz in Indonesia. And my name is Andy, mainly known in the social media as Saffloer. Uh, and here today, I'm bringing two of my friends here, two of my teammates. The first one is Stephen Vidiono, also known as Silverkizo. Say hello to the audience. And then the second one is Erickson Huang. He's also our two consecutive WGP winner, mainly known as Zero as his nickname. Okay, so today we are going to discuss and brought our topic about our experience in the recent WGP in Indonesia, where three of us, just made it to the top four, respectively with our champion here, Erickson Huang, and the third place, Stephen Diono, and the last one is me, for the top four. All right, without much waiting, and here we go to our discussion. All right, Erickson and Steven, what do you think about our experience in the WGP this year? It's basically our first for three of us to get together on the stage, getting the three out of the top four. It's really amazing, right? We really did it.
Yeah.
Indeed, it was really fun. Thanks to the organizer, judges, and yeah, of course, our lovely Weiss community here in Indonesia. And I'm proud of you boys going to the top cut together. How about you, Steven?
Yeah, for me, it's a very exciting experience as well. I'm really happy that physical tournaments are coming back this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2022, it's bringing back the nostalgia we had since early 2020 because of the pandemic. This year we have like the BCS event, which I actually got the world invitation for Vanguard, and for the JP event, like I actually got top 8 in Vanguard also in the first day, and the second day I got third place in WeissSchwarz, and yeah, I'm really happy. One of my favorite card games, and I made it into top 3. Yeah, we did it, man. Really proud of us. Made it into the top 4.
Especially for you, Erickson, you just went to the two finals for our two big tournament this year, right?
Yeah.
Well, the first one is the Silverkizo in what was it, in July or August? July, right?
I think it was
August, right?
September or oh no, it was July. It was July.
July, right? Yeah, it was in July, and then this year WGP in the November.
Yeah.
What do you think about your experience this year? It's really amazing, I think.
Well, first thing first, it certainly felt great that I've been able to in both of those events. But I think it's just what is it? It's just a sort of emotion, like going to the Swiss top 8, top 4, and final for 2 times in a row. And sadly, the first one in the first event I lost, but in the second one, the WGP that I consider the bigger one, I can finally take the champion title. I know it just felt so great there and proud of myself. I guess that's it.
Yeah, this is the final result for our WGP on Indonesia. It ended up with the Erickson Huang topping with the Itsuki, and then the second place goes to the Zaron. He played 8 win, million life, and then third place is our comrade here, Steven, and the fourth place is me, going with 8 stand by Dead Alive. From the stats is the top 8. There's two peoples playing the Decide Memory and Dead Alive. It's in the top 8, and for the 4 others there's SAO, and then Million Life, Nisekoi, and the last one is our champion here, Itsuki. So,
in 2022.
Hmm?
Nisekoi in 2022. I was really like surprised by that.
Surprise, right?
Yeah, there was just like there's only one guy playing the Niseko and he actually got top 8 here, which is surprisingly
One guy.
amazing. Yeah,
Really strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
all right. So we prepared a lot, right? For this event, for example, like we just train, and then going into the weekdays, we spend times after work, after our activities, and then on the weekends we go, we gather together, and then research our decks, changing our decks, changing decks, lot of things going on that period before the WGP. We end up picking various decks. So I think it's the data that we compiled and put it in together from the results of the Japanese tournaments, big tournaments, and championships, as well as our matchups and such. So the first one is I will be explaining in this theory. Is that okay? I think. So what do you think, Dixon? Is it correct with what we experienced in here in the Indonesia?
Yeah,
what do you think?
definitely. I do agree on most part of the tier list, but well, if I were to say something about this tier list, it's just like Osaka isn't legal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's region lock in Indonesia here.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
sad. We have a Legend Lock series here that actually can top the event, yeah, right?
Even though it's the best deck we have in the GP
Yeah.
format, right?
But I think it's fine. It just show how is the Japan environment there.
Yeah.
From the Japanese, right?
Yeah, Japan environment.
Yeah. So I will explain. Like the tier one is basically the best deck in the formats. We have here we have Nino and D. There's also Proseka, which is we can count it out because it's not viable in our WGP, sadly. And then the last one is it's also D, but it's playing 8 bar. For the different reasons, I don't think there's anyone in Indonesia actually playing these decks, but it's actually pretty good. It's pretty strong, but it's just less popular from the advanced, right? As for the going to tier 2 is where we Indonesia mainly play the decks that we mainly play is going from these decks. It's the decks that you probably already know, like it's Itsuki and then the Gochiusa, the standby get one, and then we have Hololive. Usually people playing Kanamari, but there's also Tokino Sora, that is recently surging in Japan, and then we have Picon. Picon has like 2 builds. We have Choice One and the 8 bar one. Choice Bar and 8 bar one, yeah. And then there's South Lily. Probably going into this, usually people playing the Bookgate. Sometimes Bookgate that we find in our previous event, it also tops on the 3rd place.
Indeed.
Yeah. And the last one is Little Life. Obviously going with the S10 like that. The deck that I picked. As for the territory, it's mainly the decks that is out of favor but still good, and there's also some anti-meta decks like Pachin, which is recently surging, really frightening. It's we need to take it into factor. As for Bangrim, we have Kasumi top or Yukina top here, and the last one is the popular one. We don't know we will place these sets because, like for example, like review is just released right in the just a few weeks before. So yeah, what do you think about review actually?
It kind of, I don't know, it is between good and bad, but I don't see the line there. Since yeah, I just don't have time to research about that set.
Yeah, I agree
Like,
because yeah, we don't have the time to research the set yet. I think the deck has quite some potential, but yeah,
indeed.
it was like a week before, so we don't have the time to research it before the big event.
Yeah, we have some people playing it in our locals. What do you think? Have you played them against them in the tournament, for example?
I played him once, and I think, yeah, it's just between good and bad. I can see where the good part is, but I can see many bad things can happen inside that deck. That prototype it's not
Ah,
completed yet.
I
how
agree.
about you, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. Like I also played against the review player. He used the standby with pants, which is actually quite interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll show that the deck list in the next content. Yeah, I think the deck is quite strong. If it works, it is very strong for me. But yeah, consistency is still number one. I don't think the deck is consistent enough to get to that part of game plan. Next up,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Next we have
yeah.
like the Nijigasaki Love Life. What do you think about that, Handy?
Nijigasaki, it's like the biggest. Oh, it's hard to put into the title buff, right? But it's Nijigasaki. I mean, like, people love Kanata. Just like, um,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people playing it, I think.
yeah, yeah,
yeah, you can just do it out of nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a they
we
have
cannot kind of count it out in our country, right?
yeah
Actually.
they have like very annoying finisher. The Kanata itself, it's come on, it's just
Yeah,
it's just annoying, really
so
annoying. You lose
so
to
red.
your own deck, not by your opponent. You just lose against
Yeah,
your deck itself.
Yeah. So there's still many people playing it, and yeah, we just cannot count it out out of our deck choice and probably our deck tag. As for all right, let's go to we end up playing respectively. For myself, I picked that wife, and then Erickson Huang picked Itsuki, and you SB you Steven, you just picked Desert Tomoe, right? The D1. I want to know what's the reason between why you pick the D as your first choice and going to jump into the tournament with that. Although we know it's on the tier one category, there must be something like that you find. It's very interesting that you decide to go for it. Uh, and yeah, can you explain your reason for it?
Yeah, of course. For me, because I
Right.
would really love to pick the tier one, of course, and the side primary is actually have the quite comfortability that the deck I usually play, which is Grisaya, because
Ah, yeah. Can you
yeah,
show us your deck basically?
okay, there we go. Yeah, because the Grisaya plays like he it builds a very good stock compression and memory compression, which is Decide does it as well. And I picked Decide from Array because yeah, it's a tier one deck. It's just if you get the early play right, you just basically auto win the game.
I see some interesting tech in there. I mean, I find that you pick up Area 1-1, right? It's also recently rising up in Japan, and why do you think you put that area in there?
Yeah, because the deck doesn't have an out against like troublesome kind of matchup, which is Hololive, the Tokyo, the Sora one, the minus soul, and it really cannot beat level 3 that easy early play level 3. So that's the reason why I run one stock bomber area here.
And Steven, how about the? I don't know. I think this side have counter tap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 2-4 counter tap event.
Yeah, but I don't see them in your list. Did you decide to exclude it for some reason?
yeah, the first the first time I picked this deck, I was thinking like, why not bring the 2/4 counters? Like, it's a good card. It's
Mm.
a why not card? Why not you bring it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good card. But the more I play the deck, I felt like the card becomes like a win more card. It's a win more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when you're at that kind of state, when you're at like winning condition, when you're at advantage, you are canceling anyway, and you don't really need that counter because it burns out your stock and you can die randomly for the next turn, unless it
Oh,
is quite important for some matchups that have deadly finishes like Assault Lily, the gate
the
one,
restarting.
the door one,
Yeah.
yeah, the one that
Oh, yeah.
restands 2 times and mills
Yeah.
6 times. Yeah, that's very dangerous. But I don't think I'm gonna bring the 2/4 event just for that. I prefer running the most consistency for the deck. And for the I also run the Operation Tornado event because it just really helps milling the deck, so you can loops the free refresh like every turn. Like every turn you just cancel and you brainstorm 2 times, or just use the Operation Tornado. You just gain a lot of advantage there.
Yeah, basically that Operation Tornado actually added a lot of consistency into
Yeah, it did.
the deck list. Yeah, compared to the initial build, right?
Yeah, it really does. I agree.
How about the early play? You choose to get out the to not including the
The back row one.
support one, the early price support, and instead adding the 11.5 that has the and it's also the CIP heal. I know, like why do you put here over the support one?
The first reason is because there the well we we forgot to mention this. We have like 30 minutes in our time limit in our event,
Oh, yeah.
WGP event, right? And yeah,
Yes.
bringing that kind of support is just means that you play more defensively and you set up board to prolong the game. But if you run the frontliner early play, it means you attack, you beat down your opponent, meaning you do not try to prolong the game. And the second reason is uh, one way to burn out your resources by healing one and beating your opponent cards. Yeah,
So it's also the stock swap counter measure, right?
yeah,
For
something
your
like that.
yeah, for something useful.
Yeah, we don't want to waste our stuff for something not useful, right? For
All right. What do you think about that 0-0? What is his? What is his name? The childhood friend of the protagonist. You know, the one that can bond the level one Lando or the level two or
oh,
the level
this one.
two. What was his? What was her name again? I forgot.
To be honest, I don't know.
I also forgot the.
Okay.
I just run this
Yeah,
card
I
because
also forgot.
it's the condition for the finisher to
Yeah.
burn one
Yeah,
and
correct.
gains power to 5. It's the condition, so I bring it. I run it, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
also the consistency for memory compression as well.
I mean, recently the Japanese plays four of it. Why did what do you think is the biggest difference? Do you think you need to run four of it or three is enough for?
3 is enough because you only need to put 2 of them is good enough already. Uh,
Is the power line already good?
yeah, the power line is
Like I
fine
mean,
already.
like the 500 plus, yeah.
Yeah, the effect is also 500 global, so it helps making the power a bit magic number ish. I agree with you, but 3 is a fine number because I considering putting very lot of some tech like the area one Akatsuki and Operation Tornado. I run 3 of them, and one counters, and that also cuts a lot of space. Because I pick 4 arrows and the 1 1 because I pick for consistency.
Okay.
And yeah, this card is like for late game or something. I really want to get that early game successfully. Yeah, and that's it about my decklist for the subprime. And what about you, Handy? What spicy tech that you bring for your dead life build?
Ooh, I'm also curious here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the first place, I link that live. Just like a few weeks before, I haven't bought the deck. Like it's just recently released. I mean, I bring a different deck during the Silverkizo tournament, right? And then from that on, I haven't decided which deck I'm going to play at the next event, or because I haven't found the comfort one. In the end, I choose hovering between Nino and Dead Alive. Nino is arguably the one of the best deck in the format, right?
Mm.
But Dead Alive is also, I think, it's still the best finisher we have in the current environment. In the end, Kurumi is the way to go for me. There's no other level three that I love a really good level three. So it's hard for me to pick another deck when I still see this deck in the current environment. Still playing its best deck on the current environment. As for the list, originally I played from the exact list, like the prominent player in Japan that the first time he brought the list for the Day to Life, and he goes second. So basically the list is consists of four of the 2-2, and then all level 3 at 2, except for the Tokawan, the missile one that has the Millfall ability. And then, yeah, but in the end, I find that the color is a bit
It's a bit.
too much. Yeah, because you don't get to put red that much. Previously we used the tutu red, right? And then
And yes,
yeah, the tutu red, and then so when I go into the level 0, you can mulligan, and then after the mulligan, you can just like clock up the tutu, the red tutu, and also Kurumi was still at 4, so there's a lot of left in there. Right now, it isn't.
Yeah, but I see you're still running Dead Life even though they limit the Kurumi to 2. What's your consideration there?
Yeah, it's basically like I said previously that I believe it's still Kurumi is still the way to go for me at level 3. Also, I find like I don't know how it fare in the current environment, to be honest, because there's a lot of changes. I mean, even from when the first time, like after the first ban list, and then you find the second ban list with Yoshino, it takes time for the build to realize to actually make it to the top. People trying out things, and so for this one, it's even harsher. I mean, like you don't know what can change. Yoshino is like kind of irreplaceable in this type of deck. So in the end, I just gamble out and okay, I will just choose Kurumi because I believe that I can play it.
Yeah.
Uh, I know the deck very well. Instead,
Yep.
yeah,
It did paid off, right?
yeah. In the end, it's pretty paid off, like because I can choose actually Nino as well, but there's a lot of factors. So I can go with Nino and I can go with this,
What
and
is
then I to buy this one
what is one of
and go
the
with this.
factor you have? Why didn't you choose Nino, Handy?
Nino.
Yeah.
You mean
Why?
why? Because
Yeah. Why?
basically Yeah, so basically, just like I choose this over Nino is just because I've won with this before. I
Oh,
know that inside out. Yeah,
so
it
you
was
are more
the
comfort, right? You have
yeah.
more
It's also
comfort.
comfort.
I see.
It's a comfort pick. It's still on the tire, although it's not that high. I think we agreed on that. Yeah, it's not that high, but not like it has a very bad matchup except Pachin, in which I put some text here, which is the level 3 Tobichi, the origami one. It's to play against Pachin because I see that Pachin also rising up in Indonesia, and I know a few players here. That's about it, I think.
And
Mm,
Andy, I see you are playing that minus soul event. Does it
yeah.
pay off? Do you even use it in some of your matches during the WGP yesterday?
Oh yeah, but to be honest, mm, I don't bring. Originally, the build is bringing two of them, right? But I
Yeah.
choose to reduce one because of the liability, just like Stephen Budiono said with his why he choose to exclude the counter tap in the blue
Ah,
side.
Yeah.
Whereas it's goes the same for Dead Alive. Dead Alive is a standby deck. While it's standby deck, its power is not considered very high to me. It's so in a game where you contest with power, you will definitely want to throw this out, especially like against Kanata or against. So it's just like a win more card, but you still need it. Yeah. In the
okay.
end, it comes to me during the Swiss and the top eight, and it gives me a guarantee. I didn't use it in the end, but it gives me because it was a fairly comfort win. But I still have the even if I want to pull it off, and it gives me assurance that I won't lose that game. So putting it at one is the I think it's correct.
Yeah. So it's just basically a win more card, right?
Win more card.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
it
you
gives
said.
you assurance that oh I won't lose this game, something like that feeling.
I see. I see.
All right, that's how that's about my deck list I think. And oh the other deck is probably the wedding Kurumi. You know it's I need the fifth key also when I got stuck in 0-4 or 1-4. You know, I want to bring out Kurumi as fast as possible, and I don't want to like pay another one to double Leaky, the fixer Leaky, the Kurumi one. So it's also left, so it's hard
All right.
fixing the
Yeah.
current. Yeah,
Nothing would go wrong with another red card there.
Yeah.
yeah. The balance it's just a matter of color, to be honest. All right. And here it's interesting to see all this Ericsson.
Yeah.
You choose to pick Itsuki instead of Gochusa that brought you to the second place in the previous tournament in Silverkizo, right? This year.
Yes.
It's just like 3 months, right? You
I
choose
mean,
to
Well,
pick.
yeah. I mean, we know Gochusa is your most comfort deck here.
Like,
certainly.
yeah, this guy here is whenever you see uh whenever you see Ericsson, I think everyone knows. Oh, he's the Gochusa guy here
Yeah.
because he won with the Gochusa as well in the 2019, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. While I do not have the, of course, I do not have the access to the supposedly best deck in the format like Nino, some say Nino or Side. But in the bigger tournament like this, I've always wanted to pick a comfort deck, like just like you guys. Comfort is my number one priority.
I see.
Well, I was down to two options. The first one, of course, this deck, which is Gotobun, the 8 door Itsuki build, and the other one will be Gochusa, the standby. Both of them has their own advantages, disadvantages. But finally, I picked Itsuki just because it has more offensive capability. Because 30-minute time rules is one of the short one that sometimes you just need to push over to the level 3 and start finishing your opponent off so we don't get that double loss or anything like that.
Mm.
Well,
So
ja-
you consider the time limit into a factor more to picking Itsuki, or is there any other factor? You
yes,
think Itsuki is better than what you
besides the comfort, I think the offensive capability is one of the main reason I pick it. The Gotyusa has more defensive capability, but I don't think I need that so much in the event.
Oh, in this current environment, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
and uh, just going over the deck list for a short time, it's just your standard eight door build with level 1 synergy and level 3 finishers. And this deck is basically an oppressive board deck. It's a deck that relies heavily on your board. It builds up advantages in hand or stock just by holding up your board like that, turn every turn, climax synergy even if not every turn, gaining stock there, then reserving those resources for level 3, going to finish your opponent. That's the gist of my list actually.
How about your level zeros? Like, is there any? I see that there's no. Recently, like Itsuki is still on the development, right? And people playing
Mm.
the new card, the 004K, that has the 001K, and then when
Oh, the
it
promo
plays
one.
to the
I know
field,
that. Promo one, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it can becomes to 4K if the your top check is the Kotobun characters. What do you think about that card, and
That
how
card
about
will be
your list?
that card will be good. It's a 4K. Nothing could go wrong with that. But I don't think I can gain so much advantage for that card because, well, the opponent does kill it, yes, but in the next turn, either I will replace that character or that character will be in the front line and my opponent can reverse it as easily with their level 1. So I don't think I do need that, especially when I am expecting more decide that can gain more stock if they are reversing. So I don't want that. I just want a more like resource based card like clean card or bomber or just more rickies. The gain so the green one,
Oh
the
yeah,
more rickies.
that's a
Yes,
really great
I just
Ricky
pick
for
that over
Itsuki.
that PR.
Yeah, and then how about that one? I see like a few texts that is a bit unique in your list. Like for example, we see that there is a lot of different counters compared to the usual. We have the 1-0 counter at two,
Mhm.
and then the early play anti early play counter, right?
Yeah,
On YouTuber, right? That one.
the anti-change you mean, right?
Yes,
Yeah. What do you think about why do you put some text in there? What's
the
your
anti-chess.
reasoning?
Yes, I choose that anti-chess because it helped with board control, right? Well, for the anti-chess, it helped with board control. Just when your opponent play out the early play, I can just anti-chess it with basically free resources. Why? Because instead of stock, this anti-chess cost you 2 extra hands, which is I don't think it's a key mine with discarding extra 2 hands since the deck, as we know, have 9 hand size limit
Mm.
when the support is online.
Yeah, it's crazy for Itsuki, like
Yes.
as we say for the Kanata.
Mm. As for the other counter, is basically a mill counter, mill your own deck. Of course, I see this as a more defensive counter than for the power one. It's for mitigates your like your free damage, or maybe you will be milling 1 or 2 climaxes, but it will be still okay or something like that. It's just for mitigation, just for risk mitigation.
Rickson,
Yeah, yes.
how does milling yourself is counting as mitigation or defensive? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know always the climax position, right? Lots of people
Indeed.
never consider that kind of card is defensive. Like, not
Mm.
many people know that it's a defensive card. Like milling on deck is a defensive or mitigation stuff like that.
Yeah. It also actually this counter also let you take more risk.
Mm.
Like for example, right? You have 6 cards in your deck with 1 climax in it.
Okay.
Normally we just brainstorm it out and refresh it. Is that right?
Right.
When you are going by the to this counter, you can just attack 3 times. If you don't trigger any climaxes, then it's good.
Ah,
You will
I see.
cancel 1 time at least. But if you do trigger climaxes, you can just mill the rest out.
I see. That's
It's
So you
just
very
can
good example there.
more of like yeah, risk
it enables you
mitigation.
to
You know?
take more risk than usual.
Yeah, it lets you take more risk, and I think I'm quite good at you know uh, taking those risks. It helped me winning more games by taking those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why like some decks has a lot that has a lot of defensive measures like for
Mm-hmm.
example like torch is very popular
Mm.
in the
Yeah.
Weiss Schwarz, right? Okay.
Yeah, I saw you played this card and it paid off, right? I mean, you use it
Yeah.
in the Swiss round. I saw you play it, and people does not expect that card. They know you're gonna eat the free damage of your deck, but nah, you're not gonna let them,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Just yeah, basically it's 1 or 2 matches win just because of that counter in the Swiss round. But yeah, it's very good tech card, and I'm glad that I decided to bring that counter here.
And yeah, I think I see something very odd here. I don't usually see Itsuki deck running the one Yotsuba finisher, and you didn't even bring the checks combo here. Can you give us
Oh,
an explanation why?
one.
Yeah,
It
the
well, first thing off, Itsuki deck cannot beat an overly compressed deck. You know, it just don't have a like top swap or force refresh your opponent. It can't do that. So instead of going by to that kind of measure like stock swap, we can just mill it out with this Yotsuba.
Yeah, you just don't want to like there's a deck where you definitely lose and then you cannot do anything about it, right?
Yes, I want to have more chances at beating a overly compressed deck in this deck list.
yeah, you better do something other than doing nothing, right?
Yes, indeed.
I see. Very good tech.
Luckily the new one is green one because we have the other Michiro but it's blue. So
Yeah,
I think adding another Michiro auto it's after attack is still interesting addition to this set as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. It's a green too, and my deck plays green, so I don't think that's a problem.
All right. So that's how it is with Erickson's list. I also find it very interesting and how his list is slightly different from the usual Itsuki list. And as we can see that the defensive counters, the mill counters is getting more popular, and we will see them more in the previous in the next deck, the next winner race probably. Yeah, that's how it is. It's interesting for. I find it very interesting for Itsuki. I mean, there's a lot of cards that you can bring in this deck, and the deck is still developing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a toolbox deck. It's a 8 door deck. Like the back row gives you consistency. Yeah, it's a very consistent deck, and I agree with you.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to our discussion. For our experience in the WGB and our deck choice, our deck picks. Hopefully, it will be useful for you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe our page, our YouTube, and our social medias. If you have any comments, if you want to ask things about our suggestion, if you have any suggestions and any other things that you want to discuss with us, don't forget to leave the comment at YouTube, Twitter, or our group. And see you in our next video. Bye bye.